I remember the day I was wheeled out of the hospital. It was late in the afternoon, and it was raining, lightly raining. And I remember they were trying to cover me up, and I said, no. Just let me feel the breeze on my face. It was one of the most beautiful feelings I've ever had. Just feel so alive. And I'm breathing, my heart's beating, and I'm here. I've got my feet on the ground, and I'm just enjoying that moment.
It was in the fall of 2006, and I was 56 years old, and I still went to the YMCA 3 days a week and played noontime basketball, and I started to notice I had a little blood in my urine. I didn't take it seriously at all.
I was never sick a day in my life. I never missed any school. Not until I was 18, then I started to go, My roommate at the time, she went, how come you go to the bathroom so much? I go, because I have to go. She said, that's not healthy. You need to go to the doctor.
It was my junior year of college. I just had this uneasiness, and I got back to school, back to my apartment, and the diarrhea just started. And I mean, it just, just never stopped. Couldn't really go out of my apartment because of the fear that every time I'd go out, I'd have to run to the bathroom. Accidents were more frequent. And it got to the point that I literally stayed in my apartment and never left because I was afraid to.
I totally ignored my symptoms because, after all, I'm a health provider. I know what's going on. I know how to take care of myself, and I didn't. I wasn't the important person in my life because I was just too busy. And I paid the price, almost paid the ultimate price because I wasn't putting myself first.
It really kind of came to a head. I went in the men's room, and my urine was the color of Cabernet. I had a colonoscopy. I do remember coming out of the sedation, and the doctor put a hand on my shoulder, and he said, well, we have to have this tested, but I've seen enough of these to know that you got a challenge here. Next thing I know, my life had changed.
And I just remember sitting there thinking, this is forever. And I just truly wanted to die. I would have never considered suicide. I was just so sick and tired. I got to be honest, I just did not see getting a job. I did not see getting married. I did not see any of those things in my future. It was just, honestly, it was kind of hopeless. I knew that I had reached a point that I was going to have to do something.
And it was right before the surgery, literally a day or two before the surgery, I found out I was going to have an ostomy. And I didn't know what that was. Frankly, I didn't give a whole lot of long-term thought to what life was going to be like after, either physically, emotionally, mentally.
When you're competitive and when you have your mind, you think mind over matter. Having to get an ostomy was probably the hardest thing to get over.
Having spent 7 weeks in the hospital dealing with, well, literally fighting for my life when I was so sick with my Crohn's, it was hard to let go, and it was also very scary. It was almost like an out-of-body experience for me because it was the only way I could deal with it, because I really knew at several points I was dying.
My struggle was really when I got out and I realized that things were going to be different. I started to just internalize and think about that and get depressed about it. And so, am I going to be able to do all these things that I used to do or not?
Within a month, I was suddenly feeling better. Being sick and then having this is the greatest thing, because suddenly I had a new freedom that I had never had before. There is nothing that I want to do that I'm not doing because I have an ostomy.
You never know what your calling is until you're handed it. I am so much healthier and happier because of having ostomy surgery. I run around in a bathing suit most of the time, And I gotta tell you that most people don't even know.
I think for me, I've come to the point where I wouldn't be the person that I am if I hadn't gone through all of this. This disease and the ostomy have really allowed me to appreciate every day and the amazing things that every person that I interact with bring to the world.
There's a great quote about, we all live lives of quiet desperation. That is why a sense of community and communication and sharing is so important, because it lets you know that, okay, you're not the first person in the world to go through this. We're all gonna face things one way or another at different times in our life, because at the end of the day, our strongest muscle is our mind and our heart. And if your mind and your heart stay strong, what goes on with your body will follow along.